Hello friends. Welcome to my channel, Quiz and Storyline. Today, we are going to talk about an exciting story. The story begins with Paul, an exceptional programmer. He excelled in his computer programming education and even won an award in college. Today, he's expecting a promotion at work, but to his surprise, someone else gets promoted. Paul feels cheated and, in anger, quits his job. Furious, he hacks his boss's presentation, filling it with funny emojis, causing everyone in the meeting to laugh uncontrollably, while the boss stands there embarrassed. This was just the beginning of the story, but the real action starts when Paul gets a job offer that turns out to be a trap. Paul receives a job offer from Singapore related to online games, promising a lot of money. Without thinking, Paul accepts the offer and immediately heads to Singapore. Upon arrival, he meets Auntie, who asks him to do something strange. Auntie instructs Paul to hack into all the passengers' phones on the plane and give their identities to him. Thinking it's a simple task, Paul hacks everyone's phones without suspicion and hands over the data to Auntie. Paul believes everything is going well and that his new job is great. However, as soon as they get off the plane and board a bus, a group of thugs attacks them. The thugs blindfold them and take them to a foreign country that seems to be Thailand or Cambodia. Paul is completely confused, not knowing where he has landed. Upon arrival, Paul realizes that it was all a huge scam. Paul and others are taken to a large fraud factory where people are forced to work. If anyone refuses or fails to perform, they are severely punished. In the factory, Paul sees people managing online gaming websites, deceiving customers, and scamming them out of their money. Paul feels like he's trapped in a nightmare and realizes he has fallen victim to a massive fraud. Later, they are taken to the second floor, where a high-security internet room is located. Only Chinese programmers work there, who are highly skilled in computers and coding. You know, the people working on the first floor are paid 3 times less than the ones here, but the work on the second floor is much harder. Some people work willingly, but others are forced, because if they don't, they are tortured and threatened. Friends, now Paul feels like this is not just an ordinary office but a place from which it's impossible to escape. It feels like a lifelong prison sentence. He then shows another special room, friends, where beautiful girls work as card dealers. Their job is to lure people into gambling games and steal their money. Among these girls is one who is exceptionally beautiful, which angers Paul even more as he wonders why these girls are doing this kind of work. He realizes that the entire factory is a hub of deceit and lies. Friends, poor Paul feels shattered inside after witnessing all of this. He had once dreamt of having a great job in a big company, but now he finds himself trapped in a scam factory. Paul feels that this work goes against his conscience. He needs to escape this place at any cost. He tries to plan his escape, but as soon as he thinks of it, Randy, the enforcer, confronts him. Randy starts beating Paul and says, "You can't go anywhere. Working here is no longer a choice." Randy tells him that he has become a slave, and this job has now turned into a punishment. Paul realizes that everything he had dreamt of, the dream job in Singapore, the promise of big money, a bright future, has all vanished. Now, Paul doesn't know what to do because Randy has made it clear that if he tries to escape again, he will be killed. Paul quietly begins to comply with all orders. The workers are then taken to another place where they are allowed to rest. But friends, rest is far from possible because the place is infested with rats, making it impossible for them to sleep properly. They just try to relieve their exhaustion. Then Randy returns and forces Paul to call his family and tell them that everything is fine. He's also told to inform them that there are network issues, so he won't be able to call often. Friends, Paul refuses at first, but Randy and his men begin torturing him. To avoid more pain, Paul is forced to send a false message to his family, saying, "Yes, I'm fine." Randy snatches Paul's phone because anyone working in the factory has their phone confiscated to prevent any contact with the outside world. Meanwhile, Paul witnesses a man being ruthlessly beaten because he tried to escape. Friends, and the thought of escaping leaves Paul's mind as well. The next day, when everyone returns to the factory, Randy gives Paul a new scheme to work on, but this time, Paul refuses, saying, "I won't do it." Randy's anger flares up, and his men come to beat Paul, threatening, "If you don't work, we will cut off your ear." Still, friends, Paul doesn't get scared and flatly refuses to work. When Randy is about to cut off his ear, another man suddenly arrives. Friends, this man stops Randy and says, "There's no need to kill him. If we want him to work, we'll need to show some mercy." Randy, still fuming, leaves, but Paul is terrified. Out of fear, Paul reluctantly starts working. All the workers collaborate to create an advertisement for online gaming so it can appear on the website and trap more people. But deep inside, Paul feels uneasy. Friends, he feels that what he is doing is terribly wrong, and he no longer wants to continue this work at any cost. Then, Paul sees a way out. He writes "help me" on a piece of paper and heads straight to the restroom, where he notices a window. Yes, friends, this window seems like a ray of hope for him. He quickly tries to throw the paper out of the window, but it's not as easy as it seems because the window is tightly sealed from the inside. Paul doesn't know what to do. Then fate plays a cruel joke on him. The toilet seat breaks. The entire situation becomes a huge comedy, and Paul finds himself stuck between dreams and reality. Now we are shown a flashback to a few months ago. A beautiful model, Lily, had her life turned upside down due to a small misunderstanding. Lily, who was successful in her modeling career, was fired from her company because her image was used in a gaming advertisement without her consent. Due to this small scandal, her company's reputation was tarnished, and Lily had to lose her job. This single mistake shattered her dream. After losing her job, Lily becomes quite depressed. One day, an old friend visits her at home and offers her a new job. The money offered for the job is good, so Lily thinks it's a great opportunity. She excitedly agrees to go with the guy for the work, but upon reaching there, she learns that she has to sign a contract. Hearing this, Lily gets really angry and silently leaves. That guy follows her and tries to forcefully bring her back. But Lily, gathering her courage, slaps him hard. The guy steps back. Then, Lily's friends arrive, threatening to call the police on the guy. Reluctantly, the guy agrees and later apologizes. After this incident, Lily's friend takes her to his home, where he interviews her and offers her a new job. Now, on Andy's suggestion, this job seems good to Lily. The pay is higher, and she feels that her life will now be back on track. In the meantime, Lily has no other job, so she accepts the offer without thinking much. In the next scene, we see that Andy takes Lily and some other girls to his headquarters. Upon arriving, Lily and the other girls are given strict instructions. Their passports, mobile phones, and all their money are confiscated. Here, Lily realizes that this job is not as easy as she thought. Ben, who is the boss of the entire operation, tells all the girls that they'll only get a break once they have attracted 5 million customers. Their job is to lure people into online gaming and get them addicted to it. In this way, Lily has to let go of her dreams and is forced to work at this fraud factory. She has no choice, and thus, she also falls into the trap. Lily's dream, too, shatters overnight. Just as Paul says, by now, Lily understands everything. Paul becomes quite skilled. One day, when Lily is heading to work, she suddenly feels a sharp pain in her stomach. She rushes to the bathroom immediately. This is when Paul is also in the bathroom. The help me note Paul had written falls to the ground, and Lily finds it. Inside, Paul panics and pleads with her not to tell anyone. Lily, also worried, asks him why he did it. If Randy finds out, he'll harm you. Here, Paul's eyes reflect a glimmer of hope for escape. He asks Lily if she was tricked into coming here as well. Lily shares her story with Paul and becomes quite emotional. After a long time, when Lily hasn't returned to her table, Andy grows frustrated. He suspects that Lily has skipped work and heads to the bathroom. As soon as Andy reaches the bathroom door, he starts banging on it loudly. Inside, Lily becomes extremely anxious and hurriedly tells Paul to hide because Paul had promised Lily that he would help her reach her 5 million customer target. Only then would she get a chance to leave. When Lily steps outside, Andy slaps her. Lily, in tears, explains that she's on her period. Hearing this, Randy becomes a bit uneasy and realizes his mistake. Slowly, he apologizes to her and even offers to help. However, Lily has no idea that Andy is starting to develop feelings for her. Suddenly, there is a noise from inside the restroom, and Andy becomes suspicious that someone might be in there. Randy takes Bal's phone, just as he does with all the workers in the factory, to prevent anyone from contacting the outside world. At that moment, Paul witnesses a man being brutally beaten for attempting to escape. The very thought of running away, which Paul had, vanishes instantly. The next day, when everyone returns to the factory, Randy orders Bal to come up with a new scheme. However, this time, Bal refuses, saying, "I won't do it." Randy becomes furious, and his men approach Bal with threats, stating, "If you don't work, we'll cut off your ear." Despite the threat, Bal stands firm and refuses to comply. Just when Randy is about to cut Bal's ear, another man steps in. He stops Randy and says, "There's no need to kill him. If we want him to work, we should show a little mercy." Randy, still angry, walks away, but Bal is visibly terrified. Out of fear, Bal resumes working. All the workers come together to create an advertisement for an online gaming platform, intended to lure people in. But Bal feels hesitant. Deep inside, he feels that what he is doing is terribly wrong, and he doesn't want to continue this work at any cost. Bal sees a glimmer of hope. He writes "help me" on a piece of paper and heads to the restroom. In there, he notices a window. Yes, the window fills Bal with joy, as it seems like a ray of hope. He quickly tries to throw the paper outside the window, but it's not as easy as it seems because the window is locked from the inside. Bal doesn't know what to do. Then, fate plays a cruel joke on him. The toilet seat breaks. The entire situation turns into a comedy as Bal finds himself caught between dreams and reality. Now, in a flashback, we are shown an event that took place months earlier. A beautiful model, Lily, faces a life-changing event due to a small misunderstanding. Lily, who was successful in her modeling career, is fired from her company because her picture was used in a gaming advertisement without her consent. This minor scandal tarnishes her company's name, and as a result, Lily loses her job. Just like that, Lily's dream is shattered. After losing her job, Lily becomes deeply disheartened. One day, an old friend of hers visits and offers her a new job. The pay is good, and Lily believes it might be a great opportunity for her. Eagerly, she goes with the guy to the job location. However, once there, she is told that she must sign a contract. Angered by this, Lily silently walks away. The guy follows her and tries to force her to stay, but Lily bravely slaps him. He steps back, and at that moment, Lily's friends arrive, threatening to call the police. Only then does the guy relent and later apologize. After this incident, Lily's friend brings her to his house, where he interviews her and offers her a new job. Encouraged by Andy, Lily sees this job in a positive light because the pay is even better. She feels that her life is back on track. At the time, Lily has no other job offers, so without much thought, she accepts the offer. In the next scene, we see Lily and several other girls being taken to headquarters by Andy. Once they arrive, Lily and the girls are given strict instructions. Their passports, mobile phones, and money are all taken away. It is here that Lily realizes this job isn't as easy as she had imagined. Ben, the boss of this entire operation, informs all the girls that they will only be allowed to leave once they have gathered 5 million customers. Their job is to lure people into online gaming and addict them to the games. Thus, Lily is forced to give up on her dreams and work in this fraudulent factory. She has no other option, and so she too falls into the trap. Lily's dream crumbles in one night. As Bal mentioned, Lily has understood everything by now. Bal becomes quite skilled. One day, when Lily is heading to work, she suddenly experiences stomach pain. She rushes to the bathroom. This is the same moment when Bal is also in the bathroom. The help me note that Bal had written falls to the ground, and Lily finds it. Bal, in a panic, begs her not to tell anyone. Lily, somewhat disturbed, asks why he did this. She warns him that if Randy finds out, he will hurt him. In Bal's eyes, there is hope for escape. He asks Lily if she was also tricked into being brought there. Lily shares her story with Bal, becoming visibly emotional. After not seeing Lily at her desk for an extended period, Andy becomes furious. He suspects that Lily might be slacking off and heads towards the restroom. As Andy approaches, he bangs on the door. Lily, now panicking, quickly tells Bal to hide. Bal had promised Lily that he would help her meet her 5 million customer target. Only then would she get the chance to leave the place. When Lily steps out, Andy slaps her. Lily, crying, explains that she is on her period. This makes Randy slightly uncomfortable, and he apologizes softly for his mistake. He even offers her assistance. But Lily is unaware that Andy has developed feelings for her. Suddenly, a noise comes from inside the restroom. Andy becomes suspicious that someone else might be in there. George's parents and Sam are completely shattered. It's as if their whole world has fallen apart in a single moment. They don't know what to do or where to go. On the other side, the sister and the aunt are celebrating their success. They have pressured many people, just like George, to invest their money. To mark their triumph, they throw a huge party. Everyone is celebrating, but little do they know how many lives they have ruined. Friends, this story is a warning. Gambling doesn't just destroy your money, it destroys lives. And on this day, Lily is overjoyed because she has hit a big target. Her achievement of 5 million customers is a major milestone. Inwardly, Lily is dancing with joy. Her sister is so impressed with her work that she promotes her and assigns her the responsibility of managing the security system. Friends, Lily thinks her job is done, but when she asks her sister for her passport to visit her fan, her hopes are crushed. Her sister tells her, "Not yet, madam. You need to bring in another 5 million customers." Hearing this, Lily's mind snaps. In utter despair, she quietly walks away. Meanwhile, Paul is given a new room and promotion, and he smiles as he moves up the ranks. At this point, Paul has a great plan to escape. One day, he notices a card lying on the table. He remembers a note he had brought from home with an emergency number written on it. During a trip where all the workers were being moved by car, Lily had secretly slipped a note to Paul, telling him to use it when needed. When they stop at a hotel for food, Lily plans to call for help but bumps into a visitor, dropping the note. The timing is unbelievable. Just then, Randy appears and takes Paul away, but Paul, being sharp, quickly retrieves the note before Randy notices. A week later, the scene shifts, showing that Paul has upgraded the entire computer system so much that workers are no longer needed. Paul convinces his boss to send all the workers home. They are ordered to leave, and as they depart, the workers are filled with joy. One of them even hugs Paul, expressing gratitude. At that moment, Paul slips the note to the worker. Meanwhile, Randy runs out of cigarettes and doesn't have any money to buy more. He starts asking the workers for money. When he searches their belongings, he finds the note Paul had given. Randy thinks, why not use this for myself? And heads straight to a shop to buy cigarettes. However, the shopkeeper examines the note and says, "Brother, this note won't work. Something's written on it." Randy checks the note, and his mind races. He realizes someone is planning to leak information to the police. His blood pressure shoots up, and he immediately takes all the workers back to the factory. He tells the sister everything, and her face turns red with anger. She orders that the workers be tortured until they reveal who passed the note. The workers suffer greatly under the violence, and seeing this, Paul and Lily decide to confess to save others. They admit they were behind the note. Immediately, the sister orders her men to torture both of them. Paul's leg is broken, and in agony, he cries out. Randy, who has now become a complete monster, begins pulling out Lily's nails one by one. The brutality is so intense that even the devil would shy away. Without any mercy, the sister shoots the poor worker. Now, the sister plans to transfer the rest of the workers to another location. But Lily, determined in her resolve, escapes and runs straight to the police station. However, she doesn't realize that these police officers work for her sister. The police arrest Lily on a false charge and inform the sister that Lily is in custody. A short while later, Randy arrives with his men. Instead of taking Lily to the sister, he locks her in a bag and throws her into the ocean. He records the entire event, like a movie scene. Then, surprisingly, he pulls Lily out of the water as if he were a hero. He gives her back her mobile and passport, revealing that he's genuinely fallen in love with her. Lily runs away to her best friend, who is a police officer. She tells her everything. Her friend, along with senior officers, discusses a plan to catch the criminals. They come up with an operation to raid the fraud factory. Some officers first check into the hotel where the gang usually orders fast food. From there, they gather enough information to locate the gang's address. The officers secretly send a message to Paul, asking him to trigger the emergency fire alarm. Paul, being clever, understands that the operation is about to begin. As planned, he activates the fire alarm. The special police team rushes to raid the factory. However, the sister quickly realizes something is wrong. She checks the CCTV footage and discovers that Paul is still alive, meaning Randy had tricked her. Realizing this, Randy tries to protect Paul, but the sister stops him. Then, out of nowhere, the sister breaks down emotionally and hugs Randy, asking him to delete the CCTV footage. Randy, now torn, obeys her orders. However, before he can delete the footage, the police break into the factory. Randy, enraged, attacks one of the officers, leaving the police with no choice but to shoot him. And so, Randy's game ends. In the final scene, a year later, we see the police have arrested over 1 million criminals, including the sister. The operation is a success, and we witness a tearful reunion between Paul and Lily. They are relieved, but Paul is deeply saddened by the loss of his leg, a wound that will stay with him forever. But as they say, what remains is life, and that is enough to keep going. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your loving comments. See you in the next video.